US research suggests the number of women who cheat on their partners has risen by 40% in the past 3 decades, while the male infidelity rate has remained the same. For more, we're joined by Nadia Bockety, global editor of She Said. Hello, Nadia. How are you?
Hi, guys.
Okay, what's behind the rise? So we're saying what men were up here and women were down here, and women have risen.
We're catching up rapidly.
We're catching up, but we're still not up there.
We're getting pretty close.
Right.
And look, my personal theory is that it's PMS related. Do you know what that is, Larry? PMS?
Was that the K-pop band out of Korea?
No.
Out of Korea?
It's putting up with men's stuff.
Right.
That's my theory. But no, I think it's mainly coming down to opportunity. We have more opportunity than we ever had before to stray.
So technology has opened up the world of cheating, right?
And not only just that, but the stigma has massively eroded in terms of people having marriage breakdowns. Before, a couple of generations ago, you got married for life, and the biggest failure that you could possibly have was to admit to being divorced. You had to stay in that marriage for the long run.
We noticed on that graphic, technology takes the top spot, and that's on a lot of graphics. We talk about the world changing nowadays. Do you think technology has given women the power to drive these relationships, go and seek out these relationships?
Absolutely. I mean, there are whole websites dedicated, Ashley Madison. There are places where women can go and seek out extramarital affairs, and it really comes down to the fact that women want a new way to feel seen in their relationship. When you're in a long-term monogamous relationship, I'm sure all women watching today can relate to the fact that you get very comfortable, and you do get to that stage where you don't feel seen in the same way by your partner. So if a new person is giving you a new kind of attention, that can be very exciting.
You've got some personal experience in this field. You were married.
Yes.
What happened?
Yeah, well, I'm part of the generation of the starter marriage, which is another, example of the fact that the stigma is eroding around this sort of thing. And the starter marriage is women who were married and divorced before the time they hit 30, which is myself. And yeah, I had a lot of high hopes and ideals for the marriage when I got into it, and it didn't turn out to be what I thought it was going to be. And an opportunity came along. I was getting a lot of attention from another man, and I acted on it.
Are these new concepts, if we go back into the Bible, thousands and thousands of years ago, will we hear the same kind of stories about cheating?
I think we will. I think it's more, my theory is that women are a little bit more confident to talk about it and to fess up to it and admit to it now, because we are in the era of online dating and starter marriages and, websites like Ashley Madison and people having open marriages and polyamorous relationships. So it's really a new time that we're living in.
Well, what's the research showing us about the reasons why women cheat versus the reasons why men cheat? Are they very different?
Men do usually say that they cheat, for sex, for that sexual part that they're not getting fulfilled in their relationship. Whereas for women, it does tend to be that it's more about being seen and felt noticed and getting that attention. And definitely, that can come through sex, but it comes through a number of other ways too. A lot of women as well have emotional affairs. An old flame might contact you again online, and suddenly before you know it, you're messaging that person every day, and you're telling them things about your life instead of telling your spouse.
I told you to shut down your MySpace account. The rise of female cheaters, is it sort of across the board, or is it sort of age group specific?
Look, I think it's across the board. I don't think we can nail it down to one specific age group. I definitely think that millennial women are we have a lot more access to it, certainly, than previous generations. So we're a lot more exposed to it. But interestingly, there's research that shows that the age group that actually cheats the most for both men and women are people above their 50s. So, that comes down to people that have started in one generation where it has been, the ideal has been to stay in a long-term relationship. And then they've come into this new era where it's now acceptable that if you're not happy anymore, there are other options, and they're discovering these for the first time.
But previously, couples worked on their problems.
Yes.
and committed to working on their problems. Yeah. Does it seem like there's a new generation coming through That's just all too hard.
We're just like, oh, it's too hard, let's just not even bother. I think, you know, people are probably, when the going gets tough, some of us are going, that's it, I'm done, and it's easier and there's less stigma. Certainly I experienced that when I walked away from my own marriage. I was quite shocked at how accepting everyone was. I expected a lot more judgment from people. So I think because there is less judgment, people are probably happier to walk away maybe a little bit earlier than what they potentially could before seeking counselling. And
it's with everything though. Like the toaster used to break, you used to fix the toaster.
Yeah.
The fridge you break, you fix the fridge. Now you just toss them away.
It's instant gratification. I mean, I can get on an app and find a man like in a minute after I get off the app.
But you also buy
and a new husband.
Well, you buy a toaster online as well.
Yes, yeah.
Because we see the Kardashians cheat, some of the royals cheat, US presidents, politicians cheat. Is it becoming normal? Is it becoming more acceptable because it's everywhere?
The attitude is shifting really dramatically. And it's not to say that, look, I'm not on here to say...
You're not advocating this,
I'm not advocating cheating. I'm not saying cheating is a good thing and you should go out and do it.
You're saying trying to fix the toaster.
I'm not even necessarily saying that. I'm saying if something's not working for you, then you should have an honest communication with your partner about it. And if you're not able to solve it, then walk away. I don't think there's the stigma now where you need to be having an affair because you're worried about keeping face, you know, for socially that it's going to look bad that you're walking away from a marriage. I think it is acceptable to say, look, we tried, it's not working, and now we're splitting ways.
Okay, that's the solution, you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, all right.
Is that why
people have lots of opinions?
Yeah. Is that why, Kylie, you tell me that you keep your spare toaster in the pool room? Is that why?
No, I just think... Anyway,
all women have spare toasters, Larry.
Thank you for coming in. Good to see you. Good to get through that. That's interesting.
Care and attention to the toaster in the first place can work wonders rather than just tossing out the toaster.
Even if that toaster is old and broken and just doesn't get your bread cooked anymore.
Especially if the toaster is reliable, has seen you through some good times, has produced wonderful toast for you in the past. I'm sorry, no, we've gone all culinary with this.
What if the crumb tray in the toaster is just full of crusty old yucky bits and it's just not cooking your bread anymore?
Sometimes they're the best bits.
Thank you. Lovely to talk to you.
You're welcome.
Oh, I know what I'm getting you for your birthday then.
My toaster's just fine. I love my toaster.
Now, I'm not sure if you're talking about your toaster now,
I know what I'm talking
or your
about.
pool boy, or your friend on MySpace. I don't know what you're talking about.